so this I just kind of like stumbled back into an old start of a brew I had been working on, and since I think it's because I was working on because I was playing Song of Creation, it made me take another look at the other enchantment in that saga, Titan's Nest. Libo, 10 months, thank you. Titan's Nest is a 4-mana enchantment that basically gives all of your non-colorless, non-X spells delve. You can exile a card from your graveyard, add a colorless, and only use that to cast a spell that's one or more colors without X the mana cost. Amy, thank you for the raid. Sorry that your internet's down. We're like super lost to the sauce in the middle of this like deck tech of this goofy Titan's Nest deck. We're getting weird today. We're getting really weird today. Okay. So Titan's Nest gives all of your spells delve. Herald, take the 23 months. You also get to like upkeep Surveil 1 basically. But it gives all of your spells delve, okay? And so that's a very powerful effect. Obviously it comes stapled onto a 4-mana enchantment, but I do think it's worth looking at. The cards that I think Titan's Nest is super interesting with are specifically Shadow Prophecy, Gifts Ungiven, Shark Typhoon. These are the 3 cards I think Titan's Nest really powers out, where specific in the case of Gifts Ungiven and Shadow Prophecy, these both become very powerful 1-mana draw spells that fuel your graveyard. So you can cast Shadow Prophecy for 1 black mana by exiling 2 cards from your yard. Then you get 2 cards, then you dump 4 more cards in the graveyard to continue to delve and cast lots of spells. Gifts Ungiven does a very similar thing, where for 1 mana, you get to pick up 4 cards and then put 3 back into the graveyard to continue to fuel that Titan's Nest delve. Additionally, you know, being a Gifts Ungiven deck, you're going to be playing lots of 1-ofs to 2-4 with Gifts Ungiven. Very notably, some powerful sorceries to cast. Time Stretch and Worst Fears are the main 2. Worst Fears, 8 mana. You control target player, then the player's next turn, then you exile it. And then Time Stretch, which is 10 mana, target player takes 2 extra turns after this one. But with Titan's Nest, this can be just, 2 mana, take 2 turns. Thought Scour, I don't think you need Thought Scour when you have Shadow Prophecy Gifts. So we'll continue a little bit. It can also be like an awkward thing to mill your 2 targets. And then you can so like one of the more common gifts piles is going to be Time Stretch, Worst Fears, Bala, Recovery, Regrowth. And so like you have your 2 different named Regrowths, and these both just cost 1 green mana when you're delving too. Additionally, you have a Damnation to 2-4 if you need to sweep the board, as well as you also have a Snapcaster that can Snapcaster these back. So if they put this in the graveyard, you could just they'll have to give you one of these for you to flash it back. Additionally, I have 1 Commune with the Gods as like another good graveyard filler. I did 2-4 like graveyard fillers a few times with gifts. So sometimes you can go gifts for a gift, Shadow Prophecy, Commune, Regrowth effect, or something like that, or one of these. It also digs for either Typhoon, Leyline Binding, or Titan's Nest, or the 1 of Snapcaster. So it only has 13 hits, but I think I still like playing the 1 copy. Typhoon also, this deck's main win condition is hardcasting Shark Typhoon, but Shark Typhoon for 1 mana is really sick. It's really sick to just play 1 mana Shark Typhoon into other things on the same turn. So, and one thing, in a deck that's plan is to hardcast Typhoon, you get to cast Leyline Binding for 1 mana, make a 6/6 Shark, which is also pretty sweet. You have some other kind of goofy gifts piles with Life from the Loam and the Channel Lands, and then whatever you want. I'm not sure if that's gonna be something that stays in the deck, but it's something I was kind of considering. I think that's it. I think that's suggest Mystic Retrieval. Okay, well, let me look at this one. Yeah, I guess I was the Sultai guy all along, huh? I guess I was the Sultai guy all along. Return target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand with flashback. I thought this card only returned flashback spells. Ooh, we're on the draw, whatever. Let's keep it. Why no actual Titan? I guess why would you play an actual Titan? I don't know. Listen, we're playing Titan's Nest. We're having a good time, but you just can't play infinite goofy cards that are only good with Titan's Nest in play. You already have 2 that are completely dead cards with no Titan's Nest, right? Worst Fears, Time Stretch. Having another one in Mystic Revival feels kind of a lot. But what I kind of like about this list is Gifts Ungiven is like your big payoffs for Titan's Nest, but it's just like a totally castable card. Totally castable card. It's, you know, castable card without Titan's Nest in play. Kind of the same thing for Typhoon. Like, these are your two big payoffs for Nest that, you know, function when you don't have Nest in play, which is kind of like very different from what I imagine most of chat suggestions are going to be today. Rin in 6. Everybody's favorite card. I think I'm going to get my Indatha Triome, so if I draw Binding, I can Binding the Rin. It kind of looks like we're up against either Creativity or Escape Shift, but probably Creativity, right? Titan's Nest, Transfer Treasure, Chromatic Ori. Not in deep enough, I think. What about Expansion Explosion? Sadly, the one deck that can't play Expansion Explosion because it has X to the cost. In B, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Thank you. I'm very excited for today. Very excited for today. Woke up excited. It was a really good. It was, you know, when Esther has a dinner, when Esther has, like, you know, plans. This is when you guys get the best content. You know, when Esther's out for the night. Giving it to the jank. I know. I usually try to resist the jank, right? I usually try to, or like usually, like, you know, most of this is just like off stream. I get it out of my system. We focus on, you know, more interesting stuff in the competitive sense. But let me feel something. Let me have some fun playing Magic the Gathering. You know what I mean? Every once in a 1,000 years, a player is capable of enjoying the game of Magic the Gathering. Oh, also, we only have one Modern Horizons card in the main deck. It's Regrowth. Which doesn't even count, right? But I was like, yesterday I was like, Doomwaka's gonna be so happy. I have no Modern Horizon cards in the main deck, and then I'm like, damn it, I have a Regrowth. Might go Remand, Snap Remand. This is their main phase. Draw 2, discard 2, make a treasure. I think I'm just going to Shadow Prophecy. This seems more lost in the sauce than some about Aiki. Aiki was not really that lost in the sauce, to be honest. Like, Aiki, I feel like, was a super powerful, fast, consistent artifact combo deck that just, like, you know, exists in Modern Horizons format with Force of Vigor, Force of Negation, Engineered Explosives. There's, like, a million main deck Prismari commands. But, like, if they ever ban Sigardizade, then there will be, like, one weekend where Aiki is a good deck, I think. Do we Nest on 5 with Remand up? I mean, let's see if this Titan's Nest gets Spell Pierced, or this Shadow Prophecy gets Spell Pierced. So there's, like, a chance here that if they Spell Pierce Shadow Prophecy, I just, like, tap out for Titan's Nest. Ooh, Worst Fears. Okay, okay. It's all coming together. I think I'd just take Worst Fears Gifts. Look how full that graveyard is for Titan's Nest. You feel like Bloodchief's Thirst equity has gone up with how popular Rin is? Yeah, I do. I would say that it has gone up. Is Fiddlebender still a feasible deck to running the meta? Maybe. Like, so, like, one thing about Fiddlebender is I really want to play Power Conduit in Fiddlebender, and I think the first copy as a tutor target is interesting, and I think it's possible to play a version that plays, like, the 3-mana White Saga that returns a non-land permanent mana value 2 or less, which is, like, the whole Fiddlebender deck anyways to play. It's possible to, like, play a more Power Conduit focused version, I think. I just haven't, like, really figured out how to do that. So next turn we could go Nest into Worst Fears. Potentially baiting a Spell Pierce on Gifts Ungiven. Any hot takes on Ring as a Power? I wasn't a big... I haven't seen the last episode, so I'm kind of waiting to pass judgment. I really liked, like, the first 2 episodes. I thought the first 2 episodes were, like, I was enjoying getting into the world. I was enjoying the, the world building, right? And I felt that as the season went on, it kind of started to drag a bit, The mono white saga is similar to mono red version without Oswald, so pretty good. Although misses reach from both blasts. Yeah. I think I'm gonna give it a try at some point. So I think my opponent has Remand or Spell Pierce. Doesn't really make a ton of sense for them to not have it. Let me cycle a Typhoon here. Gonna be hard to resolve the nest. But maybe I just have to try, since I can't, I didn't find a binding this game. They have sixth. They're F6'd! What the fuck? What? Can anybody say a paid actor? Let's go! You control target players next turn. Wait, is Titan's Nest broken in Modern? Okay, so let's go Transmogrify the Crab, Bolt the Crab in response, Ping Red in 6. Fetch Fail to Find. Play Fetch Fail to Find. Implement bolts? Oh no! Oh no, now I have to like play out my combo. No, I could have emblemed and bolted. No. Okay, graveyarding almost any card here, including Leyline Binding. I just need the fuel, baby. I just need the fuel. Is this a spot where I want to Bala Recovery, Shark Typhoon, and then cast Typhoon before other things here? I could also go... Yeah, I think I'd just go for Gifts first, so we'll go. One mana Gifts. Let's get Regrowth, Time Stretch, Shark Typhoon. Then we have Bala Recovery and Snapcaster in our hand. So Commune with the Gods would be a pretty good graveyard filler here. Let's get a Commune with the Gods. Oh no, I have to like do my thing and make content rather than Rimblem and Bolt a bunch. You ever cast Gifts Ungiven for 1 mana, chat? You ever cast Gifts Ungiven for 1 mana? Be good to fetch a mine, play the Dwarven Mine from hand, cast fire at both dwarves. I think this is fine. I think giving them extra mana is probably a mistake. You could though. You get the fire out of the hand too. So opponent has to choose between Regrowth, Turk Typhoon, Time Stretch, and they're just out of there, baby. They're just done. It's just that easy. It's just that easy. Okay, so let's bring in the Flusterstorms, Force of Negations, Veil of Summer, probably cutting the Fatal Push. I think we're cutting Damnation. Could be a Voices of the Void matchup, although they probably bring in their own Veils, so let's say no. Mostly just want this for like blue-white. If you Gifts on their turn while controlling them, do you get to pick? I guess so, yeah. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. So one thing I was doing yesterday, I was like boarding up to 61 a lot, where I think you could be 61 in the stack if you have so many tutor targets. Not saying not saying I'm definitely gonna do that here. I think I'm going to like cut the Commune, be 61. This seems fine. Let's do this. Let's be bad. Let's do 61. Yeah, the brutal Modern Horizons card, the Regrowth. Ah, this deck was so close to being no Modern Horizons cards. So the Doomwake would finally come play Modern with me again. Alright, Worst Fears won us the game, but I think I'm going to put it back. When it's only mold to 6. No! Okay, we have a Leyline Binding. That is one nice thing about this deck, is that you have Binding as an answer to like just any form of graveyard hate and stuff. Also have Boseiju. Yeah, what do I cut for Bala recovery for Doomwink's tournament? Dude, Leyline in turret in 6? Pretty good start. On the play as well. I probably will Boseiju the Leyline end of turn if I don't need to use the Remand. Isn't Bala fed from Zendikar? Yeah, Bala is from Zendikar, but actual factual regrowth is from Modern Horizons 1. Or that's how it's legal in Modern. It is a reprint. It is a reprint. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Not how to replace the Balagard. How to replace the regrowth. I mean, you just played an Eternal Witness instead, I guess. But two green in the mana cost is like legitimately a pretty significant downgrade. Remand, baby. And Flustered Force. I mean, those are the sideboard cards. You know, the sideboard I think is a lot more replaceable. But yeah. Okay. Dryad's Revival. Is that a modern legal card? Why Remand over any other 2-mana counter? In combo decks like this, Remand tends to be a bit better to give you a higher density of resources. I think you also really want your... in this deck, I think you really want your 2-mana counter to be a blue and a colorless, so that you can go Titan's Nest with Remand up, or with whatever this other mystery card you're suggesting is up. They definitely have 1-mana interaction up here, right? If they're not going to get something back with Ren. Hear me out, Den Protector. You'll probably never see me register a Den Protector in Modern. Unless there's, like, all of a sudden, like, tons of Megamorph support, I guess. Okay, so let's go... My opponent's upkeep, binding the Ren... And then we can try to Boseiju the Leyline with Flusterstorm up too, and then we've got some graveyards to fill, but we'll have a chance. Yeah, is Dryad's Revival an actual card? Like that's legal in Modern, or is that just a legacy legal card? Maybe you play that over Snapcaster. I don't know. So there's also the one that returns only instants and sorceries. That one's probably better because it gets back through Typhoon. It's from Midnight Hunt? Wow. Okay. Yeah, we might play that over Snapcaster. Doing upkeep to play on Force of Negation. I'm doing it over upkeep mostly to increase the storm count for Flusterstorm. Not that it's like super duper relevant, but there's not really too much they can have. I guess they can have Boseiju in response to the trigger. And here they can have... Oh, okay, they're just playing a Fable. Okay. Two Ren and 6s? The audacity. Is it worth to put Archon deck with rights? Probably not, no. You would have to, like, just not be on Titan's Nest, I think, if you're going to do that. But, I could be wrong. You know, the world's kind of your oyster. I'm actually, like... I know that we're lost in the sauce. I know that this deck is a bit goofy. I understand. I'm also, like, pretty proud of where this list is, to be honest. I'm, like... I feel like a bit of a mad genius today, I guess. Okay. What are we doing, though? Losing, probably. Maybe I just jam Titan's Nest here while they're tapped out and hope they don't have creativity. I feel like that might be just my best way to win this game. I feel like I'm so behind. Is this 2 Archon section? If they have creativity, which they're like obviously likely to, but I'm just so behind. They're on the play, Leyline, Ren, and 6-hand, you know. Loam pass. It just feels like such a losing line, I guess. Can't you Light from the Loam, hold up Binding Fluster? I can. It just doesn't seem like a winning line where they're gonna get so like what am I binding? The token? Maybe. But they're just generating so much advantage with the Fable loot, with the Wrenn and 6. I'm not advancing my board at all. It's so easy for them to have like, you know, like the nuts and just like even be able to go like creativity with Veil up. I think I'm just kind of best served hoping they're just on nothing, you know. I think this is the most likely way I win. I could be wrong. Are they returning Blood Crypts? Is this a hardcast Archon? Tides Nest, bring to light Valky. Really power out the 5-drop with your 4-mana enchantment. Well, I ain't dead on board. Morality, 11 months, thank you. They did both though. What is crazy to play Archons of Eldrazi? The Eldrazi actually died to a lot of like Emrakul dies to Leyline Binding, Solitude. Gets a lot of things answer that card. Regrowth. Okay. Game 3. So, I feel like seeing the ley lines, I'm going to be interested in at least the Ray of Revelation. Also kills Fable. On the play, Narset? Narset's probably fine on the play, yeah. Still working on sideboarding. Is Ray just better than Claims? I think in this matchup, yeah. They don't really have any artifacts. Take out Snapcaster. I think I'm probably okay for that. Could maybe be at 62 cards also. I think it's okay to go up to 61, 62 of the stack. Could cut the 4th Typhoon. Could cut like the 4th Gifts, 4th Prophecy. Let me trip the 4th Gifts. Can Shadow Prophecy cast Dark Amoeba? Dark Amoeba doesn't get cast, but it can trigger Dark Amoeba, yeah. I'm already go within the sideboard? I guess so, yeah. It is a sideboard card in the colors. It's a fine card, too. Do I have any post-Yorion ban updates for the Goryo's deck? Just got... I think the last version I played I was, like, relatively happy with. I think between the Archon version and the Goryo's version, I would be playing the Goryo's version at the moment, but both decks... But the Cottage mana base is just so bad with so many Blood Moons. There's just a million Blood Moons, so... I don't know. I don't know what I'd recommend exactly. Here's the real question. Can this deck function in Pioneer? Okay, so this deck is saved in my decks as Modern Titan's Nest because Titan's Nest started off as a Pioneer deck. This one is in even deeper. I've never played tested it, and it probably could use some changes. But the big enablers here are... So you have Commune with the Gods and Krufix's Insight as graveyard fillers here. Krufix's Insight specifically seems nuts, where you look at the top 6, get up to 3 enchantments, and put 3 into your hand, rest in the graveyard, which fuels your nest. And then you are powering out Shark Typhoon, Lay Claim, Omniscience. Yeah, I'm playing a Search for Escata too, which I usually never do, but it's like a graveyard filler, ramp spell maybe. You have Trial of Ambition and Push as interaction, and then theoretically, you know, I haven't built the sideboard or anything. This deck's probably pretty bad, but I did build it. I did build it, so I have never played a game with this deck, but I've had this draft for a long time. Okay, let's keep this. There's a lot of decks in. I got a lot of decks in the drafts like that one. This deck is missing like a big refill. I don't know if that's true. Like, so I was playing a Seagate Restoration with that kind of idea yesterday, but you have so much. You have a ton of card advantage. You have 4 Gifts, 4 Shadow Prophecy. I just don't know that you need like a Seagate Restoration, but that's what you would play if you wanted one. Does the Pioneer version have any card draw to go with Omniscience? Yeah, it has Krufix's Insight, is the main one. Yeah, this may be too many omnisciences, but it's you have Insight Commune. Maybe you're a little low. I mean, you need to be on the enchantments for like the Commune Insight to fill. I don't know if there's like a, you know, some kind of enchantment that's really sick. I guess there's the one that if you cycle something, ETB draw 3, cycle for 0 if you have 7 or more cards in hand. That's probably not very good. Maybe this deck should be playing, oh, this deck should probably just be playing a bunch of Seagate, actually, in this deck. Let's put these over here for now. Okay, I think I'm going to regrowth my Verdant Catacombs here. Let's get Watery Grave. Yeah, I thought about approaching the Second Sun. I think it's bad, where it's like, the thing about approach, like, you're going to cast it and, like, lose a lot of the time. You're just not losing very many games where you cast either Time Stretch or Worst Fears. Oh, it's definitely bad. Okay, so let's set up for Narset plus Veil next turn. I guess I just should get the Abzan Triome, so I can have Binding. We'll see. We'll just see what they do, I guess. New Perspectives. Thank you. I couldn't remember the name of that card. They have Ice. That's okay. Could Veil this. I think I just kind of like taking the 2-for-1. If I get Grixis Triome, I can set up for Narset. Oh, wow. Narset plus Flusterstorm. Guess there goes that plan. I think just taking the 2-for-1 is fine here. Is there a better 2-drop? Is there a better 2-drop? Is there a better 2-drop better than Tarmogoyf for John? Yeah, Ren 6. Guess I should probably Flusterstorm Prismari Command here. This way I can go Indatha Triome. Yeah, oh, I don't have a forest. Oh, sorry, I don't have a mountain in play unless I play the Xander's Lounge, so I can't go Narset with Binding up for 1 mana. I think I still get the Indatha Triome here. Do not play a Breeding Pool? I play a Breeding Pool. I'm not sure why you want Breeding Pool so badly here, though. Instant Infinite, go in Pioneer version, maybe Modern version. I mean, maybe. I think it's more likely for me to want it in the Pioneer version. If I brewed up anything with Urborg Lurgoyf, I haven't. I think that card's, like, you know, not great. Could be playing Finding the Third Path over Snapcaster. Can flashback with Read Ahead in the middle can be useful. It's a thought. So here, I think I'm supposed to jam the Narset. Cool. So Veil Summoner is going to stop an Archon ETB if they have one here. Any extra turns from the Pioneer deck? So the Pioneer deck's, you know, this version is born on instant sorceries. The Pioneer version, it has to be in on enchantments, I think, where Commune and Crucifix's Insight just seem like such great enablers. I don't know. I'll work more on this list. I will work more on it, I promise. Okay, that's fine. There's a Titan's Nest. There's a Remand. I'm gonna take the Nest. Wait on a turn. I think that I'm interested in Binding the Goblin Shaman, although Binding the Goblin Shaman, Narset stops Fable Chapter 2. Yeah, I can't Titan's Nest and 1 mana Binding. Although I could 2 mana Binding, I could just pay mana with the Nest. So maybe that's the line. Just fetch a Swamp, cast Titan's Nest. Then I don't have Veil up for creativity. Okay, we'll wait. If you let them put the Fable trigger on the stack, they can bolt Narset. I mean, they could bolt it if they have bolt. They didn't bolt the Narset when... They would have bolted it already, because They just let me minus it for free, right? They play persist. I don't think we've seen persist out of their list yet. They also may mess up, right? It's Narset, you know. People mess up against that card a lot. I only have one white source in play, so I can't Binding and Ray. Grimflayer. Oh, it says Surveil. Yeah, is Titan's Nest a Surveil? It doesn't say Surveil on the card. Did they do the errata on Magic Online yet? Second Renin 6 ping Narset, baby. Let's go. I remember that the flip side of Reflection is an enchantment, so you have a lot of time before you can Rave Revelation it. Why didn't they ping Narset? I think they thought they could just attack it. I think they messed up. It's already been errata. It doesn't say it on Magic Online. Not that it really matters. Alright, let's go. Shame concede, I think. Undefeated, 1-0 with Titan's Nest in Modern. I'm having the freaking time of my life. Where you cast it with Titan's Nest, you can cast it for 1 mana. Alright, let's keep this in the draw. On 6. You cast it for 1 mana, and then it fuels, it gives you more cards to cast with Nest, and it also puts in the graveyard to fuel the Nest further. Wisdom, 9 months, thank you. Yeah, imagine the YouTube video if we 5-0. We're 25 land deck with the Balagad Recovery. We're on the draw. We're on a mill to 6 already. I would mulligan this on 7, but if we find a land, we can like remand it to lands, hopefully. Turn 1 Marsh Flats. I guess Speculative 7 is a perfect mana, be pretty keepable. I mean, just 1 black source. I don't know if that qualifies as perfect mana. Maybe it does. That reminds me of Scapeshift, but bad. A pretty good review. Wilderness Reclamation, but bad. Where Scarab God Faster Faction had Manlands? Why do you play Manlands? Mingo's making fun of Remand players the other day. I've also heard Mingo like say, "Oh, Remand is playable." Never let them know your next move, I guess. You're supposed to get Watery Grave off the Delta, actually, so I can get Forest. Main phasing this because of Undying effects here. Yeah, the one of Creeping Tarpit in your domain deck. Double DRC. Cool to see DRC being played more in Rakdos. Obviously, very nostalgic for the card in Rakdos. Why 4 bindings? Just, I think 3 bindings is the perfect number of bindings. Where's the Electricry? Oh boy. Any 3-drops you might like to cast, opponent? Playing Leagues prior to today? Yeah, I basically would never play a deck like this untested on stream. I played a bunch last night. It was okay, you know. I don't remember what my record was. I was doing like a lot of like dropping and like tuning, right? Because this is also not the kind of deck I can just shit out. But it was very fun. Ooh, 3 mana spell. Hopefully a creature. I don't know what 3 mana creature would be. Did I try the outcome deck? I did, yeah. I posted a screenshot to Twitter. Like my very first game, I had like this awesome like upheaval game. I just crushed them. Then it just kind of felt very mid after that. And then, but I was playing Song of Creation in the Paradoxical Outcome deck, which actually seemed like a really good include. But that just had me thinking about Paradoxical Outcomes. You know, they should have definitely cast this pre-combat. Thinking about Paradoxical Outcomes. You know, weird sibling Titan's Nest. Cycle for land drop. I think it's way better to hold up Remand and cycle than just cycle main phase. Wow, look at Remand not putting a Planeswalker in the graveyard for Delirium. Broken. Drawing me a land too. I played against a Rakdos player last night. My very first match with this deck, I played against a Rakdos player who just took forever to do anything. Played like Ragavan turn 1, 30-second pause. Just like the first 3 turns, I had used 40 seconds of my clock. My opponent had used like... So I don't have an untapped red source, so I can't go binding plus remand this turn. So I just like I conceded the match. I conceded the match. I was so excited to play the deck, and my opponent was playing so slowly. That is true. Opponent is first time user, huh? So we have an interesting decision tree here. It's really going to depend on like, does my opponent get Delirium? They do get Delirium. I think I'm taking too much damage. I think I'm taking too much damage if I don't binding a channeler here. So let's binding a channeler. Let them plus first. I think I'm going to discard the Remand here. Is this game going out of style? I'm noticing more people going to regular red black mid range. I mean, the thing is, like, people just play like literally whatever, like wins a tournament, you know, or does well at a tournament, which is fine. But Scam is going to be back in style. I think Scam is the better of the 2 variants, but I do love this version, and I kind of want to play some of this, honestly. Give us Leyline for 1. We can, but we have to get the Xander's Lounge, which means we can't also remand because we don't have Steam Bins in the deck. With no actual red cards, I don't think you want to play Steam Bins. Is there an infinite combo or Titan's Nest for value? It's Titan's Nest for value, but when you cast Time Stretch or War Spheres, you usually win the game. You know, like you like cast Typhoon and you make tons of sharks, cast Time Stretch, win. But there's no infinite combo. All right, yeah, let's just jam the Titan's Nest. Pretty good chance to win next turn. When they plus, I guess I'm discarding Shadow Prophecy because I probably can't afford to lose the life. I need 2 bolts, or Ragavan plus bolts. Tank, Bloodmoon turn 3. Yeah, that's what my opponent had done too. What do you get with Gifts Ungiven? So I think we'll see how many cards we have, but we can go like Gifts Ungiven for Regrowth, Balagad, Time Stretch, other card. Oh no. That's bad. Graveyard hates. That being said, I can still go Hardcast Typhoon plus Gifts next turn, although this is also unblockable. Maybe we'll just find a push or binding. So I think we go... Crack Fetch. Yeah, ruined by MH2 cards. This deck won't peer into business to target. You don't really want cards that have 4 black mana symbols. You want very few colored symbols. Kruvix's Insight. I have Kruvix's Insight in this Pioneer version. I have 1 Commune in this version, but I don't think that we have enough enchantments. I think the only out is this Cycle Typhoon and hope to get a binding. I mean, I'm not like... Oh, sorry, I guess they just Edict. What was I think? Sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. Hold on. For those I was thinking that... Oh, no, I can just instant speed Shark. Yeah, I just instant speed Shark. And then we get, like... We get push, binding... Gifts Otawara, maybe? I don't know. I can't get something that's gonna be crazy for the Voidwalker, obviously. Maybe I can. What if I get a Typhoon to try to bait the Voidwalker? We go Damnation, push, binding, Typhoon. They can give us back. Yeah, I mean I think that's fine if they do. Decklist to translate as Pioneer. Yeah, I have a rough draft in Pioneer. I guess we'll probably try it out at some point. I haven't built a sideboard. I want to fit in these Seagate restorations to the main deck, which are honestly pretty awkward with being like just all blue black mana early or mostly blue black mana early. But I think with the Omnisciences they're pretty good. Okay. Okay, done. Game 2, sad. The Voidwalker, obviously. Big wrench in our plans, thorn in our side. We'll bring in these Veil of Summers, think cutting all the remands, maybe play 1. Play Damnation. I think I'm interested in, like, at least the first Nature's Claim for, you know, Blood Moon, Hearse, Hidetsuka Consumes All. Not sure exactly what list they're playing. It didn't look like they were really that in on Blood Moon. Worst Fears is probably not one we want to be in on in this matchup either. Could be okay. So he's like a Time Warp. It's like a better Time Warp. We'll keep it in. Racing D's. I like that this kills hers. Let's just try this. On the play. Keep. This is a hand that could just go Swamp Island Forest. Dump a Prophecy? I don't think you ever dump Prophecy against like against a Rakdos deck. Prophecy is better than Thought Scour. It's much better. What's great about Prophecy is it's like a good payoff for Titan's Nest, where you're casting this like powerful 3-mana card draw spell that dumps cards in the yard for 1 mana. You're not like incidentally milling cards you'd rather have in your hand because you can put them in the hand with the Prophecy. It's card advantage. It's much better, I think. So I think I'm going to get Grixis Triome. And then we could probably get Island here. Okay, I think I'm very unlikely to cycle Typhoon for 0 here. I guess if they Thoughtseize the Nest. No, not even if they Thoughtseize the Nest. Sorry, Diamond, thank you. Yeah, if they take a Nest, they must just have a second one, right? It's like a Thoughtseize. Worst Fears exiles itself, so no worries on Dathi. Our standard pile, Regrowth, Bala, Titan, Loam. I mean, so if you have Titan's Nest in play, it's like Regrowth, Bala, Worst Fears, or like Shadow Prophecy, Worst Fears, Shadow Prophecy, Time Stretch. You have a lot of piles. I don't know that I would say that this deck has a singular standard pile, honestly. Alright, so try to block the Ragavan with the Shark. They know they have Ragavan, though, so I don't think that's a super likely to work plan. Sorry, I think for the 9 months. Appreciate you. Is there anything to do with Metamorph being free? So I looked at, like, the free spells. You have, like, the Scarecrow King, Phyrexian Metamorph, Beseech the Queen as, like, options. But all those cards just suck so much, you know what I mean? What I really like about this version, and like this is a philosophy that you'll see in a lot of my brews, is that most of the cards in this list just like function on their own, you know? Most of the cards in this deck list just like, you know, Shark Typhoon, Gifts Ungiven, Shadow Prophecy, these are all payoffs for Titan's Nest, but they're also just like good cards or good enough cards by themselves, right? That are big, hugely powered up with Nest. And then you have 1 Time Stretch, 1 Worst Fears as like tutor targets for your gifts. I mean, if I can just slam the Nest here... Ooh, Shadow Prophecy. Would have loved to draw that, but... if they just spend their turn casting Shadow Prophecy, draw 2 cards, that's okay. Okay, just draw 2. So they draw 2, lose 2. Slam and Hope. I mean, I feel like we're the Rakdos deck. They can't remove the nest. We have the Surveil off the Titan's Nest on our upkeep. Oh. I think I'm still supposed to jam the nest. It's so incredibly bad if they thought seize the nest, and I can take a hit off the Ragavan. Famous last words, kind of, but good cards, low power, high synergy ceiling. Yeah, exactly. Instead of just slamming, Reaper King or Phyrexian Metamorph in your deck. As much as I love Reaper King. Before, yeah. Forest. Oh, yeah, they hit Nature's Claim off the one of Nature's Claim off the Ragavan. Yeah. Could this deck want a singular Narset Reversal do a couple Worst Fears loops? No, just cast a Worst Fears once and then, like, mess with them, Time Warp, untap with your Titan's Nest, You don't want to play something to make your Worst Fears better. That Worst Fears needs to get the job done by itself, or it's not something you should consider. This is not EDH. Unfortunately, it's not EDH. Oh, cool. They left it on Holy Heat. T-Ray, 24 months. Happy 2 years. Good day for the 2-year resub. Oh, no. It's actually kind of interesting which card they take. So the Commune with Gods, as far as like payoffs here, can really only hit a Typhoon. It's also like a good graveyard fueler. A lot of good hits off the Titan's Nest here. They get to draw 2 cards. They had 2 bubbles? I guess so. Regrowth, okay. Definitely going to keep Regrowth. Definitely going to cast Regrowth. But am I going to Regrowth Typhoon or Shadow Prophecy? I think it's Shadow Prophecy here. The upside is just so high. Yeah, what's good about Commune with the Gods is it fills the graveyard. That's why we're playing it. Okay, Shark Typhoon, Time Stretch. If I want a Time Stretch, I can Time Stretch here. Yeah, I guess I just take Typhoon, Time Stretch, cast Time Stretch. Right? I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. 9 cards in the yard, yep. Okay. Leaving probably just Prophecy in the yard. Beat Regrowth for Time Stretch. I can leave 2, okay. We stretching. Yeah, we stretching. Too bad I get Typhoon first, get a Tintin Shark, but... Sorry, with the deck tech, if it's a good chat, I can take a look, although... Maybe let me finish this game first. Yeah, don't target them. Dude, it might happen. One of the worst punts I ever made was accidentally getting really excited and casting Time Warp on my opponent. Okay, so... Prophecy... First, to fill up the yard for the Typhoon. Is Shadow Prophecy better than Thought Scour, they ask. I guess I take the spell. So let's just go 3 mana. Oh, 3 mana. Remember, I have another turn coming. Remember, this is also like a very funny interaction because this deck is just like its win condition is hardcast Shark Typhoon. You just get 1 mana, 6/6s with binding. Very fun synergy. Yeah, we have another turn after this. Time Stretch is 2 turns. No, there's not a super consistent Gifts pile, but like the most common one is going to be like Time Stretch, Shadow Prophecy, Bala Recovery, Regrowth. All right, go to game 3. Going to game 3. Play 4 Ragavan. Play 4 Ragavan. Monastery Whisper also probably looks to be a little bit better than Goblin Guide if you're in on like Mutagenic Growth Bauble, although okay, only 2 Bauble here as like a Become Immense filler. I see. Maybe that's not true then. Interesting list. Okay, so we didn't see any artifact enchantment sideboard cards. Scourge is bad. I mean, Scourge is bad, but I do think it fits well here. Kavu over Scourge. I think Scourge probably is, if you're really in on Street Wraith and Team of Battle Rage, Scourge is better. 4 Team of Battle Rage is probably 1 too many. I would probably switch the numbers on Mutagen Growth, Team of Battle Rage. I think that I'd be interested in going down. I think I want to play Swift Spear over Goblin Guide. Yeah, I've played Flame Rift in this archetype in the past. It's interesting. I have liked it, but usually I'm just 2 colors. So, like, you could play Flame Rift over Become Immense, basically. Become Immense Bauble. Am I going to Vegas with Caleb? I'm going to Vegas. I didn't know Caleb was going, but I'm sure we'll hang out if he's going. Yeah, so I built the deck in the past, and that's what I've been doing. Oh, I don't like this white sideboard splash. Oh, you already need planes for the cattle. You mean Flame? So I mean Flame Rift. The 4 damage to each player is really good with Scourge, Ragavan. I think that's probably the direction I would go. Cut the Immenses, cut the Baubles, 4 Flame Rift. No Goblin Guide, 4 Swift Spear. Or sorry, you could go. You maybe just cut the Nacatls. The Nacatls for Swift Spears. Then play like 2 Goblin Guide, 4 Ragavan, 4 Growth. And then just be straight. You could be red-black or red-black splashing white for Prismatic Ending for the Hammer Time matchup. I think either of those 2 routes is fine. I think either of those 2 routes is fine. But that's probably how I would build it. Again, straight red-black, Swift Spear over Nacatl, 4 Ragavan, 2 Goblin Guide, 4 Mutagen Growth. Cut the Become Immense Baubles for 4 Flame Rift. Red-black mana base, optional white splash for Prismatic Ending for Sanctifier and Vec in the board. Likely a deck that wants to play Orvar for the creativity matchup also. 2 of those over the marches. They give too many white removal spells, like way too many. The Rolling Vortex is interesting. I don't know if I love it. It is interesting though. Let's go to main phase. Swamp push. And deck for Ziffy. Let's look at chat. I can take a look. The Shadow Discord Flame if you're trying to play Flame Rift. I played Flame Rift. We played it on stream. It's fine. I think if you're gonna play Scourge, it's pretty good. You have to play 4 Shadow, 4 Scourge. You could even consider playing. You could consider playing the. What's the card called? The 7/7 the Shadow of Mortality that you can only cast if you have 7 or less life. You could consider playing like 2 of those over the 2 Goblin Guides. I would mostly just want to see it play tested first, I guess. But okay, I think drawing the Binding. I'm just going to try to get an Indatha Triome here. Or Forest if my opponent Blood Moons. Vortex Bauble, take 5 to enable Shadow. I recommend cutting the Bauble. Any updates on Third Path Rammer deck? I do, yeah. It's you know, it's one of those like I have it kind of. It's one of these like prepped, ready to go decks. Whenever I feel like it, but I've just kind of been, you know, lost the sauce. Oh, sorry, not this. But I pulled it up yesterday. I could pull it up today. I want to play. I think you want to play Smallpox in the list, basically, which is another like crazy card to cast off of Founding. It's really nice to be able to go like Founding helps you go Smallpox plus Flagstone on turn 2 without a filter land, which is nice. And then, obviously, you know, good with your Reanimator package too. You can take a screenshot, rewind the VOD or something. And deck tech for Ziffy also. 4 Ice Fan. Whoa, what is this? Okay, so in your control list, you should not play Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf is like not really a good card in Modern. It's also much worse in decks with Supreme Verdict. It's much worse in decks without Thoughtseize and Inquisition to fill up the yard quickly. Tarmogoyf is like not close to being playable in this list, and I very much recommend getting it out of here. Okay, I'm gonna discard. I think Otawara. I really don't think they have Blood Moon, but I think that I do have the luxury of playing around Blood Moon enough here that I'm going to play around Blood Moon. Can I submit a vote for you to play the Smallpox deck? Well, I will throw those ballots out. I'll just, continue to play whatever I want, whenever I want. Also, in your control decks, I think you're much more incentivized to have a domain mana base for Leyline Binding than you are a mana base that can, or maybe this is not even true. Maybe I'm just like Grixis Triome into binding the Liliana here. I think that's actually what I'm gonna do. You're much more incentivized to build a binding mana base than a snow mana base for Icefang, and you're just not trying to win the game with dopey creatures, especially in a deck playing Supreme Verdict. Don't play any copies of Serum Visions. I wouldn't recommend Snapcaster either. I mean, this is also like the problem with control decks is like, or like control decks lists like this where you're just kind of you're in a very, very, I think you're very much in the wrong direction, and I have a control list in the Stream Decker. No, Turok. I have a control list in the Stream Decker that I recommend. I posted it yesterday, but like the things that you really, really shouldn't be doing here are the Tarmogoyfs, the main deck Subtlety, the Ice Fangs. You also really shouldn't be playing Serum Visions. You shouldn't be playing more than one Spell Snare. Probably play 0 Spell Snare. You should be playing more Teferi heroes. You can play 1 Shark Typhoon. The minimum is 2 Teferi. I think 1 Jace is good. I like the second Jace. You don't have to play second Jace. And then you can play up to 1 Typhoon as win conditions. You need to play 4 Leyline Bindings. Leyline Binding is nuts. It's very easy to enable. You can see how to do that in the Stream Decker. I really hate the Hall of Helios Generosity. I think Hall is... I don't know why you're playing it, actually. You don't really have enchantments. Oh, you have the Typhoons on the side. Just play the 4th Typhoon over the Hall. I am a big hater of Hall. I really, really dislike it. I also am a Celestial Colonnade hater, but I digress. Oh, you should also have 4. You should have more than just like 1 Solitude in the side. You should have, like 3 or 4 in the main. Probably 4. Okay, let's keep that. Seems like an above average draw. Alright, let me take a turn here. So Bala get recovery gifts. Cast Gifts Ungiven for 1 mana. I would probably get Commune in this pile if I had it, but let's get Damnation, Shadow Prophecy, Worst Fears, Regrowth? So they've dumped Damnation, Regrowth, and I can go Shadow Prophecy, Worst Fears. I think this is fine. You could do channel points or donations for the deck tags, but the channel points are on a 30-minute cooldown timer. 13 months of hating Hall of the Storm Giants. I think I'm going to play 1 in Blue-Eye Control going forward. In a strict 4-color mana base like Omnath builds, do you need a Zaga Triumph to make Leyline 4-lane work, or is 4-color mana base? Yes, play a Black Triumph. Just play a Black Triumph so you can cast Leyline Binding for 1 mana. It costs you very, very little, and being able to double spell, going Rin and 6 Binding, Teferi Binding, Omnath Binding, is just like insane. It doesn't cost you almost anything. Okay, so they gave me Worst Fears. So can I go Regrowth, Shadow Prophecy into Worst Fears? I think I can. So 4 cards in graveyard to Regrowth the Shadow Prophecy. 1/2. 1 card in the graveyard after Shadow Prophecy. Maybe not. Cast Shadow Prophecy. Take 2. 4 more cards in the graveyard go. So I have a total of 5. So I'm a little bit short. So I guess we're just gonna go. Oh no, I have to exile everything from the yard to Worst Fears here. I've already played a land. Okay, so Regrowth Shadow Prophecy cost me a total of 3 cards in the yard. 1, 2, 3. I cast Shadow Prophecy with 1 more card in the yard. The Prophecy and 3 others go. I guess I could just take 1 card maybe. The best card, and then 4, 5, 6. I'm still one short. Should Damnation? Yeah. Probably. Yeah. Well. Yes. I think I'd probably leave the... Oh, I guess I can leave Gifts and Prophecy in the yard. Sure, I'd rather snap those back than a Regrowth, obviously. Regrowth Gifts? I don't think that works. Yeah, this deck is the funnest shit ever, huh? Have you considered Shingeki? Is that the channel card? Is that the channel card? I don't like that card, if that is. Ooh. Okay, so like, if they don't have a discard spell. If they don't have a discard spell, I could just Worst Fears them and then sack this. Let's keep that actually. Still just gonna Worst Fears though. Which exiles itself, so it doesn't get Voidwalkered, right? They have 2 Hearse. Investigating Aeons, thank you. We could dash Ragavan to play a spell for us. I feel like we're just, most of the time, just taking 2 for no reason if we do that. Not used to taking a turn and then I get the next turn. Oh boy. Alright, I'll just pass here. I'll Binding the Ragavan, then Gifts on there instead. Why not tap lands? Oh, sorry, I should have tapped lands, sorry. Okay, it didn't matter. I should have tapped lands so they couldn't Pyro. yeah, Emrakul doesn't, I mean, I think it's because I'm, like, when you play Emrakul, it just, like, never matters to tap the lands. Alright, I might concede to this Gifts. We've used a lot of our tutor targets already, so, okay. We're almost definitely winning. We're 2-0! We're 2-0, baby! We're an hour and 20 minutes into the stream, but we're 2-0. Oh, man. Gonna keep this beautiful hand. I'm gonna come in last at F&M with this deck. I can feel it. Yeah, I can feel it too. Why is this working? I mean, so like, I'm very proud of this. Like, you know, there is a fine line between jank and like beautiful refined jank, where like, you know, I say it with complete humility and humility and humbleness. Like, this is a fucking good Titan's Nest deck, right? This is like, can you imagine like coming into any other stream and seeing a Titan's Nest list that's like this tuned for the first time? No, you can't. Because this is twitch.tv/aspiring spike, you know? You're right? It's not a good deck, but like, you know, it's a bad idea, I think, maximized to its fullest potential. Or nearly fullest potential, you know. As full potential as, like, you know, one night can get you, I guess. To bring some of that humility back. And before 2-3 Murktide to ruin everything, we can beat Murktide. Can crush Murktide. Yeah, only 2 decks left to brew. Yeah. I mean, I agree. This deck is like definitely worse Wilderness Reclamation, but it's doing some really cool things. It's doing some powerful things too. You get to play Gifts Ungiven. Can you beat Titan? Sure. Regrowth plus Yoran ban. I mean, it got worse because Yoran was like, you know, a buy for Reclamation. Definitely got worse. Yeah, how could a Titan... Yeah, you go to the... We have the Titan's Nest. The Titan is nestless. I'm gonna fire off a Shadow Prophecy. Probably not. Probably getting Spell Pierce, whatever, right? I've been using Raycons. I've actually tried a lot of different wireless headphones. I've tried the AirPods, the Bose ones, another brand I used for a long time. I can't remember the name. But like, what I really like about Raycon is the battery life is just like, I don't know how it's like 3 times as long as any other headphone I've ever used. And so all I really care about is I just have music in my ears the entire stream. That's like the only thing I care about as far as like headphones go. And this does that. We failed the Giganta check because of Time Stretch and Damnation. Does Rec exist in like a tier 2 Mard deck? Yeah, it's pretty good. We've played a lot of it on stream. Yeah, I think the gifts for Unburial Rites plus Fatty is like just not that good of a strategy, but again, like we already have War Spheres, Time Stretch. You're just like pretty... Might just remand this. In Modern, you're really hard capped on the number of like goofy like uncastables you can play. Could push it? Yeah, we could push it, but there's still like good to get a connive off if we push. Remand's also like it's good against like exactly Murktide. You could push it. What can I say? Really getting Watery Grave or Breeding Pool. Guess Watery Grave. Yeah, so I guess to further the headphone review, I think if you're interested in comfort, AirPods are the best. If you're interested in sound quality, then Bose is the best. And if you're interested in battery life, Raycons are the best. Has been my experience so far. Winoki here. We have a Snapcaster Mage, which you could maybe cut for like there's a card that has like it's a regrowth with flashback regrowth, which is maybe you should be playing that card. Fuck. No. It's not fair. Do I just try to draw land and hardcast Typhoon? I think I cycle. Float a white doesn't work. We float a white, but then we only have 2 types. We're 1 mana short. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. We only have two land types. It doesn't work, chat. I have 3 mana. The Blood Moon comes down. I'm floating a white mana. Blood Moon's in play. I only have 2 domain. So the binding costs 4, and I only have 3. What I do also have, however, is a Shark Typhoon. I cast anything else? I can cast a Remand. No attack. I think holding back for Ragavan is a bit more relevant, but you could attack. Should have floated a white and cycled with 1 blue. Why? What's the point of floating a white? There's no way to binding the Blood Moon there. We have more Typhoons in the deck to draw. I think I'm just cycling the Remand here, being able to chump block for sure this turn. Another Remand. I don't have a plains in the deck. I don't have any white fetches, so I'm not playing plains. We do have Forest and Boseiju. We also have like we can just draw another Typhoon, hardcast another Typhoon, get a 6/6 Shark. We have Gifts for 4/4 Sharks. We're pretty dead though. We're like not gonna win probably. Whoa! What if we draw Swamp and we Worst Fears our opponent? We get an 8/8 Shark. Think there's a shell in colors outside. Is it for Murktide? I played a decent amount of Dimir Murktide with Death Shadow. Oh yeah, we have an Otawara too for the Blood Moon theoretically. All right. Okay. Don't know why they haven't played their Shredder. They probably have Counterspell, but we still got our 6/6 Shark. Then to a Bolt, then to a Ragavan, then to a Heat. They didn't put a card on the bottom. It's bad news. Alright, that was on the list. Damn you, Blood Moon. Okay, let's bring in Veil of Summer. I think I would claim over Ray of Revelation because of Hearse. Might even bring in 3. 2 is probably fine. I think the second Damnation's fine. Remand's pretty bad. Can't probably cut Commune. I think of cutting all the remands, I probably went 3 claims. I might want some Flusterstorms, just trying to resolve things. Flusterstorm is probably fine. I think I'm okay cutting one of these two. I think I'll cut the time stretch. Can we play Dam over Damnation? Well, you can't really white in this deck, I think. I mean, you have multiple white sources, but it's much easier to black. You could think about it though. Let's cut the Loam. Might register 62. You cut the 4th Nest. Seems like an okay spot to cut the 4th Nest. Narset, I don't know. Narset's okay against Murktide. I think I would maybe describe it as mid. Good enough to keep, I guess. Isn't Dam just better because more versatile? It's white to overload, which is much harder in this deck than black. Yeah, 61. I think because you have so many tutors, you can board to 61 sometimes. Could split on Damnation. You could, yeah. You could. That might be fine. There's other sweepers too, but most of them don't kill Murktide. I think we get the Lounge. Okay. Obviously, it smells like Ragavan plus Spell Pierce, but they also notably didn't get an island, so I think I should be somewhat comfortable getting Indatha Triome, especially with 3 Nature's Claims in the deck right now. I also have Typhoon to try to block this. I imagine there's a good chance that they sort of cited out a lot of their removal. Interesting to do this main phase. Also interesting to see Serum Visions in Murktide. Not something you see too often these days. GTMS. Cool. And before got shot. So we can just tap out Resolve Gifts if you want. Assuming they don't have a land to play. Seeing Voices of the Void first time is a 2 for domain decks to run a main deck. Well, I mean, it's 5 mana. And this deck is cool because it can cost 1 mana with Titan's Nest. Let's draw Titan's Nest for turn. That'd be also just sick here. No such luck. I'm going to get my basic island, though. I imagine Titan's Nest will be in this Gifts pile. We might do something like Nest, Veil of Summer, Shadow Prophecy, Leyline Binding seems solid too. Some kind of like answer to Murktide list, although Damnation's maybe a better answer to Murktide here because of the Channeler, but 1 mana versus 4 is pretty big. Let's get a Binding. Let's go to value gifts, right? Regrowth Delta get island. Yeah, you're lucky to draw the Delta. I don't know how much we need to necessarily be scared. We could have also like gifts and put a Nature's Claim in the pile, maybe. Will Skull Elements float white for binding? Genius. Yeah, I love gifts too. Love it. Oh, you thought Voices had the same discount as Binding? No, not every card is busted as Binding. White cast Gifts instead of just floating white for Binding. Ah, fun new meme on the channel, huh? Brand new meme is born. Beautiful. Beautiful. Gifts is my life. I love Gifts too. It's just the funnest shit ever. Okay, so they give me Titan's Nest Binding, a pretty reasonable conclusion. There's a good chance next turn I'll do something like Regrowth Veil of Summer to set up for Nest plus Veil. JF, thank you for the 3 months. Appreciate you. They found their third mana. Not super surprising after that Sarah Vision's resolved. Why is there a Gifts stack? What format is this? You know, Modern is it's a Gifts Ungiven format. Always has been. Dashing Monkey. Okay, maybe I'll cast that. Four cards in their hand. So you can go Titan's Nest plus Hold Up Binding. Let Titan's Nest gets countered, likely by a 2-mana counter spell. I don't hate that. I also don't hate Regrowth picking up Veil. I don't like how telegraphed that line is. Let's just jam to the Titan's Nest. Binding first. I think I need to hold up Binding so I can deal with the Dash Ragavan because the mana generation's an issue. Also, like, they very easily could have a Murktide here. Kept the card on top. Yeah, I think that this becomes the line after we draw the backup nest. Yeah, mostly care about the mana generation here, I think. Can pay for Spell Pierce. Maybe this turn is just good to make a 4/4 Shark and block. I have to fetch and shock to do that though, which I don't love. So I think I'm going to go Regrowth, target Veil. Then Bala, get Recovery, target Push. Push on their upkeep. Why is Loam in the deck? I can't bring Bala, get Recovery? I could do other things. Most notably, it can... You can Gifts Ungiven for Loam, Boseiju, Otawara, and another card. Alright, the one of Regrowth exiled here. They put an islet in their yard. I think I'm going to take 3 again. Just get a tap land and set up for Titan's Nest Veil into Hardcast Typhoon, I guess. Isn't fetching Shotgun Cycle for 4 same is getting hit with DRC? Yeah, that was kind of my thinking with taking this line instead, right? Except we have a 4/4. Yeah, we do have a 4/4. Listen, the deck name is not called Cycle Typhoon. It's Titan's Nest. Titan's Nest. I might be like Veil of Summer just to make a 1/1 to block here. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Okay. Titan's Nest. So they know I have Veil. They know I have Veil. If they have 2 counters as their last 2 cards, good for them. So maybe we just do a Ragavan. Life total's getting real low, Spider-Man. So they're not sure if they want to keep the card on top. Did I make my land drop? I haven't. I also have no more basics in the deck. They put Surgery in the yard. Although that's a land drop for me to hit, so I can go Typhoon into Gifts. I could also cast just Gifts. I think Typhoon into Gifts probably makes more sense to me. This beats Ragavan. I think there's a... It kind of feels like they sided out their bolts, but that could also just be wishful thinking. I think I main phase this so they can't counter the gifts. We may die, but that is a risk I'm willing to take. Notably, my Regrowth and my Bala Recovery are gone. I cited out my time stretch, but I think we go like Gifts, Snapcaster Mage, Worst Fears, Typhoon. Nature's Claim my own binding. You can get Leyline, so I think I like the Typhoon a bit more. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think, like, you know, my opponent's either going to kill me this turn or we're pretty likely to be able to win. We'll see. Man, this deck is just the funnest shit ever, though. Yeah, I've had a draft of this deck in Pioneer for a while, too. Whoa, they gave me Worse Fears. Okay, your turn. Dead to Heat, dead to Archmage's Charm, dead to Jace Bounce, dead to Lightning Bolt. They kept a card on top. Is this really going to be Jace Bounce for the win? They have 2 Jaces if that's the case. No, just another consider. How to beat creativity was easy. It was the easiest shit ever. This deck could unironically play Seasons Pass. You can't play these. I don't know. Seasons Pass is mid as hell, and it's also like, oh, Otawara is 1 mana short. Oh no. Oh my gosh. And then they put another Channeler in the yard. Alright, it's just not click through blockers, huh? Yes, we graveyard that. I probably have enough cards to do both of these. Yes, I gotta save brain power today somewhere. I have exactly enough? Wow. The slow roll bolt. There's no way. 0% chance. He says taunting, daring opponent to have it. They could obviously counter the Worst Fears here. Comes with 2 8/8 sharks attached though. If it resolves, we win. I think. Not sure what they could have that I would lose if this resolves. Can you beat approach? Like approach sucks so much. It's just like, well, I don't know why you'd want to play approach when you could just play, you know, like Worst Fears and Time Stretch win the game more often than approach does. Like you have to cast approach twice instead of like these 2 cards are just in the game like by themselves. They get a bolt. I mean, if they had bolts, it would have been on the stock already. Oh, I should have fetched and taken a look at their library. Okay, going to game 3. I think I like my sideboard plan. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bring this back in though. Oh, 4 of the Approach the Second Sun. That's a good card. Our opponent's Worst Fear, Titan's Nest. Yeah, this is the funnest deck I've played in a really long time. The Narsa, the matchup, I think it's just kind of slow, very easy for it to die. You could play it. It's better because they're on Serum Visions, I guess. It's kind of good against Shredder, huh? Interesting. I'm not trying to turbo your graveyard out. I am. Shadow Prophecy, the one Commune, the Gifts, all fill your graveyard pretty well. They do so without whatever cards you're thinking of, probably. Sounds really bad against a Ragavan, but that's okay. Daniel, 8 months, thank you. Is Crab too silly? Yeah. Don't. Yeah, it is too silly. What is the tank? The tank Ragavan, no. Tank Ragavan. Oh, baby. Getting Overgrown Tomb? You should have tanked longer, opponent. You should have tanked longer. What can I say? Oh, tank before the push. Is this just better than Wilderness Reclamation? Well, you know. What does the word better even mean, huh? Trying to think if there's any world like Binding. I guess like Binding if they dash Ragavan. But I would probably rather Binding with Veil of Summer up like next turn or something. Listen, okay, I've been doing it more lately. I admit I've been doing it more lately. We've been getting lost in the sauce. Lately, I'm having a ton of fun. I'm really enjoying myself. This is like the deepest we've been, the most lost in the sauce we've been. And we're also 2-0, going to game 3 against Murktide, playing against, you know, good decks the whole time. You know, I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling great. I have claim for that. Don't need to really do anything right now, I guess. I feel like if I claim, it's still likely to get countered. I think I just want to do this on their turn also. Maybe I can... Yeah, no, I don't want to open myself up to Blood Moon by casting now. If they have, you know, 2 counter spells on their turn, maybe so be it, huh? I also think I'll probably go Binding with Veil up first, because I think I want to prioritize killing the Hearse more than the Channeler here. So go Binding, Veil, if they counter. If not, we just, you know, get to play a game where they have no pressure in play. Yeah, I think Blood Moon's like not super... I agree, Blood Moon's not super likely for them to play this game, but they definitely have Blood Moon in their deck. They are like... it would be really weird if they like crushed us game 1 with it and just sided them out, but it is true neither game 2 nor 3 they've been like fetching like they have Blood Moon or anything. Okay, just cast Ragavan. 3 cards in hand. That's true, they just drew 0 fetches this game. Alright, so if you draw a land, we could just slam Titan's Nest, I guess. Alright, slamming it. They have 2 counters, we can do. We beat Invasive Surgery. Boo. They have 1 card in their hand, though. Wait, now they have 2 cards. Dead, yes. This is modern. You get hit by Ragavan once, the game ends immediately. Death Touch for players. They have a Murktide. Okay. They didn't sack Islet end of turn. It's bad news for us. Okay, we need to damn. Oh, they're gonna let it resolve. Okay, so I'm gonna get push, damnation, leyline binding, veil. I think they very clearly have a counter spell. Maybe regrowth is better, but I just don't have enough mana to regrowth the damnation. Winning this game would be so fucking sick. Everybody's counting me out. I'm like, I have like between 0 and 1% to win this game, chat. Come on. Okay. We just need to draw Flusterstorm. Tink, 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 bolt. Maybe that 2 mana tap was just a pump fake, huh? Or maybe we get to chump block with Typhoon. We're like 3% to win this game now, chat. You know, everybody's like 2-1. Dude, they're never sacking this island. It's such a bad sign. Also draw Binding. Sacks the islet now. Makes Flusterstorm much more alive. Another Typhoon for next turn. I think they sided up most of their removal. No, I want to be able to draw and cast Binding here off the Shark. I think that's better than playing around Heat. A hard cast Shark Typhoon. Cycle now. What are we drawing to if we cycle now? Still not gonna play around Heat. They didn't have it last turn. We could draw again Binding and like just put pressure on their mana, pressure on their counter spells. I guess Flusterstorm doesn't even really do it, huh? That one hurts. Alright, 2-1. Did our best. Okay, let's keep this. Goblins, okay. Be a fun match. Modern, so unhealthy. Goblins versus Titan's Nest. I'm so sick of the matchup. You don't always hit with Commune in this deck. It's mostly here as a graveyard filler. You have 13 heads. I feel like I'm jinxing myself, I guess. Okay, never mind. We're always gonna hit. Best hit really here too. Next turn we can like binding the vial if they don't play Snoop, then set up for Nest and to like win on turn 5 or probably win on turn 5. Feeling pretty good. Yeah, so if they play Snoop, we have to binding the Snoop. Fatal Push would be really sick draw. No such luck, so we just binding the Snoop, hope they don't have a second copy. If they play like, literally anything else, then they probably won't be able to race me in time. How the Upheaval list performance testing? Not very well. We'll probably play it again. We'll probably play it at some point. I might have some tweaking. I ended up adding Song of Creation to it. I thought that was a good addition. And play more Moonsnare prototypes so I can cast Song a bit earlier. Okay, so Matron for Snoop. Oh, Matron for Matron. So I mean, I can cast Shadow Prophecy, looking for like push or binding if I suspect that my opponent is on another copy of Snoop here. One problem is, am I still playing Godless Shrine? I can't remember if I cut the Godless Shrine or not. I think I might have cut it for Temple Garden. Yeah, I don't have a white-black land, so I can't Shadow Prophecy and hit either push or binding. So I think because I can't hit push or binding to stop them from comboing if they have a second copy of Snoop, I'm just gonna jam the Titan's Nest. And I win next turn if they don't have a Snoop in their hand. We don't know that they have a Snoop in the hand, although I do think with them tutoring Matron, it's like, fairly likely. It is possible they see them like a control deck and they're thinking that their second Snoop won't be good and that they wanna get a bit grindier with Matron for Matron. But that isn't the case and we lose. Well, I guess we can make them go for it. I think if we had the Abzan Triome in play, I would be playing around this. If I try to cast Primeval Titan off Titan's Nest, yeah, our 4-mana spell gets to do a really good what's the 4-mana artifact that gives you 2 mana? The 4-mana artifact that from Battle for Zendikar. You can sack it to draw 2 cards. There's a really good Circuitous Root Impression, the Hedron Archive Impression, 4 mana into 6 mana. Okay, down to game against goblins. We'll bring in second Damnation. All 3 claims. They're likely to be bringing in Blood Moons. Voices of the Void is actually probably sick against goblins. Probably just cut the Loam. Blood Moon Gums, yeah, it's fairly common. But yeah, Nest also plays so much better with cards like Typhoon, Gifts. So like it's great with Typhoon, Gifts and Prophecy, where these cards are cast for 1 mana and then they fill up the graveyard more, so you can keep casting things with Nest. And Typhoon is castable for 1 mana instead of 2, like a card like Titan is. Yeah, Nest does work well with Phyrexian mana. Unfortunately, like despite everybody memeing all the time that Phyrexian mana is broken, it's really just the 0 mana Phyrexian spells that are good. Phyrexian mana is broken, although it's really like just Cataxian Probe and Misstep. Pod is pretty good, but I don't know if it's too good because of the Phyrexian mana. Okay, so I'm not sure if I'm supposed to Binding the Vial here to play around Blood Moon a bit better, or if it's just better to Nature's Claim. I think because I have the push. Because I have the push for a creature, I'm going to use the Binding on the Vial here. Dismember's good. That's true, Dismember's good, but I don't think Dismember's broken. Maybe it's broken in the sense that it's a bit of like a color pie break. I don't know. Phyrexian mana is good, but it's also like there are plenty of like really reasonably designed Phyrexian mana cards that I would say the majority of Phyrexian mana cards I would like not, you know, come close to describing as broken. Would Pod really be broken for 4 and 2? No, I mean, I actually think Pod's like a really well-designed card, honestly. Maybe a little too pushed, but the design of it is really good. Blood Moon and Goblins? Question mark, says chat. Yep, Blood Moon and Goblins. But also, Goblins only ever plays 1 Blood Moon. They would never have 2 here. Although, if I was going to play around it, I'd get a Forest. I don't know if you call Pod a good design, homogenized gameplay. I don't know. It's like a super interesting and compelling, polarizing card. You can argue, I guess, but I like the card. I can call it good design because it's, my opinion. Okay, 2 Snoops and a Matron here. Pretty good hits. Let's keep that one. Let's keep that one. Our surveils have been so good today. We only have 1 blue source. It's kind of weird. So we need more cards in the graveyard, so I think I'm pretty likely to have Commune with the Gods and Shadow Prophecy in my pile here. And then beyond that, I'm kind of interested in Regrowth and Typhoon. I guess I don't have another blue mana this turn. Maybe I'll get the Worst Fears. So if I do this, they definitely just put Worst Fears, Regrowth in the graveyard. So that's kind of a problem. So maybe I keep the Worst Fears just like in the deck, and I also get Bala Recovery. And so if they give me just the 2 Regrowths, then I can like Regrowth Gifts and set up for Worst Fears next turn. Voices? Oh, Voices would be so sick here. Dang, Voices would have been really good. Get other gifts. I would get another gift if I had another blue. I just don't have another blue. I want to do something else this turn. Alright, so let's go Regrowth, Shadow Prophecy. And then keep just the gifts in the yard. Or I guess I could get... Hold on. Guess I don't need to tap that much. I do have a land to play for the turn. So here I can go Land Typhoon. Islands. Typhoon keeping, I guess, Prophecy Gifts in the yard. And then I can 1 mana Binding, make a 6/6 Shark. Just an average turn in your Titan's Nest deck. That's a good card to know about. I guess you bring in the Ray of Revelation for game 3. Yeah, I've been working on this draft for a long time. I also never thought I would make the stream, but I was just, you know, Esther was, you know, busy, and I got lost in the sauce, you know, having a real good time. Okay, definitely want to keep that. I know Excellent Gifts is kind of tough here, but I think I just want to maximize the amount of mana I have. And then again, Prophecy just fuels the nest so well, and it's like a good payoff too. Just play these two cards just play so well together. The Binding is really nice. I think I want to take Gifts though. Let's take Gifts, fetch land, get a little bit more mana. It says, gotta go, wife, call me. No, please stay, please stay. Damn it. Play Goblin. No. Wives, am I right? Wives, am I right? Wives, am I right? Pizza thing with 20 months. We're 3-1 though. We're 3-1 with Titan's Nest. Okay. I'm gonna mulligan this, I think. Keep this one. Put back second Gifts. Okay, I think that I'm just gonna save the push for either Voidwalker or Dash Ragavan. First time I will catch the baddest live. Usually we don't get this crazy live. Usually we're a lot more tame, so good day to catch the live, I guess. Okay, although in response to the Thoughtseize, I think I'll just use the push. Rabbit, thank you for the 5 months. Thank you. You get Watery Grave here. Tower of Urza incoming. That'd be so funny. I really hope the Tron lands don't go into Pioneer, honestly, but we'll see. We'll see. Someone at Wizards definitely loves the Tron lands, because, like, remember the first... It was Double Masters, right? The first Double Masters was just, like, every card in Tron has got this, like, crazy full art, fancy treatment with, like, the most beautiful cards you've ever seen in your entire life. Someone at Wizards really, really likes Tron. Somebody powerful. They confirmed no Tron Standard weekly G. Okay, cool. Good to hear, good to hear. I do want to know who it is though. Okay, they take the gifts, that's fine. I want to know who it is that is out here that made the decision too. Mo says, well, I'm lost. The decision that no, well, I'm lost. I'm just gonna cast the Ragavan, I guess. Oh, you know what card is good against Ragavan, though? You know what card is good against Ragavan? Remand, baby. They're going to flip a Shadow Prophecy. They're going to cast it. I'm going to remand it right back into my hand. Right back into my hand. Is Tron really that broken without something like Map in the format? I mean, there is something like Map. There's Sylvan Scrying. There's like Commune with Dinosaurs. There's the 1 mana... Artifact Commune with Dinosaurs. There's like enough ways to enable Tron that it would be annoying, yeah. In Pioneer, at least in Pioneer. Sorry, Standard is not a real format. Standard is like, it's just kind of like where cards enter Pioneer from. It's not like a real format. It's just where cards enter Pioneer from. Yeah, Inscribed Tablet. Only 2 cards in my opponent's hand. Likely have a removal spell for the Shark, though. I think it's Swamp so I can cast Damnation, right? Little Pioneer payoff with no big card. And you have little card, Ugin, Ulamog. Whatever you want, really. When you have lots of mana, you'll find something. Wall Breaker, maybe. You will live! Shark token, you're going to live. Too soon to say goodbye. I got white cards in the deck. The perfect top deck. Time stretch, baby. Can you imagine a more perfect top deck? Oh! Gross. Yeah, I need to draw land next turn. Thank you, Ragavan. Maybe we'll draw a push. Oh. There goes my Titan's Nest, I assume. We beat Rakdos earlier this league, though. We can do it again. Yeah, it's like that's like 3 bindings in the top 4 cards. Terrible card. You should only play 3 bindings to your deck anyways. Yeah, all 3. They took the time stretch. They took the time stretch. Okay, I didn't draw anything anyways. Okay. Okay, we'll play it out. I literally can't believe they took time stretch. Yeah, they don't know this card is 10 mana. What's the 3 bindings meme? I do deck techs on the stream, right? I take a look at people's decks, and there's like a disgusting amount of people who give me deck techs with only 3 Leyline Bindings, but they've like gone through the hoops to meet the domain requirements. You should play, like, if you're gonna play binding, you should play 4. I'm gonna concede. Keep them more confused. Don't know if I want the second Damnation or not. It's probably fine. I'm gonna click submit this. I've been boarding up to 61 cards. I'm liking it a lot. You could also cut, like the Loam or something. Loam is probably fine. Thoughts on increasing ambition over time stretch. I mean, time stretch has like an impact on the board. Like, if you play increasing ambition over time stretch, all you have to search for is worst fears, which I guess is fine. But the time stretch, I've liked it enough. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I was thinking about playing like 1 mana Morphos in the deck too. I think it's probably not correct. Do you think I've ever seen you play one of Snapcaster? I played Gifts deck with 1 Snapcaster in the past, I think. With the Ultra Turbo Moonbrew with Midnight Thopter into the Plunge Blood Moon. I don't know if that one's ever ever making it. If you could evoke Fury, Infernal Plunge, I'd be all over it. What's the reason for no rights combo to mix? I mean, I think the combo is generally pretty weak, so that would be the main reason for not playing it. I've played like lots of Gifts brews over the last couple of years or a few, and basically Rights for Gifts always feels like super underpowered, and it doesn't play like, I guess, terribly with Titan's Nest, but I don't think it plays particularly well either. So I had to mulligan a double push hand, but I'm gonna mulligan the 1 lander. Let's keep this one, I guess, and put back Bala Recovery. I'm going to get Indatha Triome on turn 1 and hope to not get Ragaband. Is Loam there makes this ritual when Titan's Nest is out? It can do that. It can also, there are some situations where you want to gifts for Loam plus Boseiju, I found. It's like not super common, but the first copy of Loam is also, I think, a card that you could like mill over for Shadow Prophecy for some value. The first copy is like okay to draw 2, but you could cut it. Mia, 5 months, thank you. Okay, they're taking my nest. Indatha Triome for me. So if I cast this Commune with the Gods, I can't get Domain this turn. I think I'm okay to just wait. Just get Domain for the Shadow Prophecy. Voidwalker very good. Hopefully I can find an answer for it off the Prophecy. Hopefully I'm not getting Blood Mooned, but you know, if they have Thoughtseize and a Voidwalker and a Moon, and we're mulliganing on the play, it is what it is. Okay, I think I am in for binding the Voidwalker into cast Commune. Be really nice to find Nest off the Commune here, obviously, but get to fill up the yard either way. We bricked, which is definitely something you're gonna have a lot of times. Or you have 13 hits for Commune in the deck. That's not the most. It is an important gifts target where like a lot of times you just want to get graveyard fuelers, but it doesn't matter because we lose to Blood Moon anyways. And we're drawing. The Titan's Nest was the next card. Gross. Alright. Big sad. We did 3-2 the league, though, which is, you know, about as good as you could probably hope for. We're going to do another one, too. I'm having a lot of fun. No, it's a Blood Moon. We have outs, but we have to go, like, runner. I think it's just bad, you know, for everybody's sake, better to concede there. We're like, you know, like less than 1% there. If my opponent has any other cards in their hand, you know.